Alright guys, so I'm going to be doing some more Patreon requests, and the first one we're going to be doing today is from Bill McLaughlin, who asked me to do my personal ranking of the squad members from Mass Effect. Mass Effect is my favorite game of all time. It's, yeah, if you ask me like what game will I always pick no matter what, it's Mass Effect. I don't play it a lot because the game is so massive, and if I get sucked into it, I will lose like 15 hours of my day. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, you know, only 15 hours, you're not a real gamer. I know I'm not. I'm a gamer in the sense that I will like lose track of time, and yeah, I have like other things to do, you know, writing a book, doing videos like this. I will lose entire days if I play Mass Effect. So I have to like time myself and really like get back into the adventure again. Anyway, so let's get started with this. And as always, before we get any further, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below. Head on over to my Patreon where you guys can send me requests for videos to do here on YouTube. But other than that, let's get started. Actually, no, there's one more prerequisite. The other prerequisite is with all these ranking, I'm going to go from my least favorite to favorite. That's how we're going to do this ranking list. But if you think a character should be higher or lower on the list, that's totally fine. I'm always excited to hear what you guys have to say in your videos. Like, I'm always curious to see what you guys have, where the characters rank for you. Like, I'm always interested to see how that plays out for everyone. So, yeah. Other than that, yeah, let's get started with the video. So, first and foremost, let's start, like I said, we're starting from the bottom up, and my least favorite character is Ashley Williams. Let me ask you something. Do you really give a shit about Kaidan or Ashley? I've seen a lot more people give less of a shit for Ashley because she's just such a bitch character, and like she's always about gung-ho and fighting, and almost like in some dialogue it's almost xenophobic. She's also really boring. She's just boring, and I'm not trying to say like, oh, it's a woman because she's boring. No, there's way. And the thing of it too is that Ashley's such a weird character to me, because Ashley, there are so many strong female characters in Mass Effect. It's chock full of them. Ashley ain't one of them. Let me ask you a legit question. Which one do you prefer saving in that mission? You know what mission I'm talking about, the first Mass Effect. What character are you more, or do you usually save more, Kaidan or Ashley? I've seen a lot more people say, I'll save Kaidan, but that's not saying much, over Ashley. So yeah. She's just a forgettable I forgot she was she was even a character before I even started this. And speaking of Kaidan sucks too. He's next up. He's only slightly better because he's a little more useful as a bionic. Just slightly better. Was he even a bionic? Fuck it. He's also got the writing of a used chalkboard. He's completely useless. I don't use him in a lot of missions, and I only saved, if I could, I even said out loud, if I would, I'd have you both die, because I really, at no point am like, man, I care about this plank of a character. Because that's what he is, a wooden board. Or boring, I should say. Anyway. So yeah, there you go, Kaidan. So from here on out, all the other characters I like. These are, like, Kaidan and Ashley are just characters I'm like, ugh, I'm not using you. I'm not using you at all. But from here on out, these are characters that I really enjoy. It's just from here on out, like, they're characters that I'm like, this is hard to rank. So, next up is Jacob Taylor. Jacob I like. He's actually he's a likable character. I think that he does kind of have some boring stuff, but I do like his mission. I really do like his loyalty mission. Jacob is also he's a lot better. He's basically what Ashley and Kaidan were supposed to be in terms of, like, your human characters. A lot of the human characters are at bottom of the level, I should tell you right now. They're really uninteresting compared to the alien characters. But that's the thing, is that Jacob has a way more interesting story. I think he's way more interesting with his story with his bionics. I think he is a way more sympathetic character than you would think. And I do like his loyalty mission. So yeah, Jacob. Next up is James Vega. I do like James, and I think that's mostly because he's voiced by Freddie Prinze Jr., so maybe that hype might have a play into it. But he's way more... He's basically what Ashley should have been, in that Vega is also like a soldier, but he's not like so gung-ho, like I'm just going to shoot something. He's more like, I'm dealing with some serious trauma, and I don't know how... And I feel like because if you ever saw his movie, which is not good... you get to see the full story of, like, his mission and what led him, and do you think... And you basically have to tell him if he did a good job or not. And that's kind of a lot of pressure, like, when he tells you what he did and why he did it and the sacrifices he made. It really puts a lot of pressure on you to tell him, did you do a good job? I say he did. I tell him he did, but at the same time, I wouldn't blame anyone for saying, no, you fucking suck. But the character of James Vega is a more... Like I said, a more reserved, more like the soldier I think they wanted to write with Ashley, but yeah. So, yes, I am looking at my list, because I had to remember where I put everyone. So, let's move on now to Zaheed. Zaheed, I forgot half the time I had him. I literally forget half the time I have him. But he is pretty fun. I do like his, he's the old soldier looking for another fight. He's definitely someone that you love having on your squad. He does have some really good jokes. I do think he's a lot of fun. But he's also, like, again, just another... The human characters just never interest me. I think their writing is just kind of, like, a little... bleh. At the give or take, there's two, and you know those two. And it's not for the reasons you think. Shut up. So moving right along... moving up, we have Edie. Edie's a lot of fun. Edie started out as a character who was the ship's AI and then became an artificial robot. I really love her story and her whole progression as a character throughout the games, and you really get to see that story. And also you help Joker smash that robo booty. What can I say? I love love. I think Edie's a lot of fun. I think that she got... it's a great progression, too, and it really talks about, like, a lot of, like, the Asimov books. And really talks about, like, what does it mean to be alive? What does it mean to be machine? It's a lot there. But there is another robot character that really did that a lot more, and you know who I'm talking about. We'll get to him soon. But I swear, I do, like, even though Edie's a little lower on the list, I still love her as a character. She's a great... I think her whole progression from AI to robot and becoming something more is amazing. Moving on. Also, I'm going to have only squad only, so if I'm not going to have Joker on this list, nor am I going to have, like, Javik or anyone from Andromeda. I should have mentioned that. Yeah, great job, Multi. We're 8.5 minutes in, and now you're bringing this up. But, yeah. So, let's see. Who was next on my list? Oh. Yeah. Oh boy. I'm gonna get some comments here. Because the next character on my list is Samara. Hold up! Hear me out. Because I know my friend Chris, I know he's watching this, Mount Vernon kid, is just like, you mother... Why isn't Samara higher? And I'm like, okay, I really love Samara. I really love her story as being a Justicar. I love her whole story and her her whole thing about law and order, and her reality just kind of breaks that bit. I really love that. And don't miss like, I just couldn't I really love that character, and from here on out it just gets harder. Like, it just gets really harder to pick who goes where from here on out. But yeah, Samara, she's just kicks ass all up and down. I wanted to put her higher, but like, all these characters are great. And speaking of great characters, let's talk about a certain Erdnot, certain warrior from Tuchanka, a certain warrior who's nothing but a grunt. Yeah, Erdnot Grunt. I love his story. Also, I'm a fan of Steve Blum as a voice actor. What can I say? He's definitely this. He is like, I know a lot of people say like he's like a Diet Rex. I don't see it. It's more of he's this tank-born being who's kind of seen as an outcast and has no, no family of his own. Shepard's world is the only the only family he's ever known, and I really love that. I really do. I really do love. I absolutely adore his whole story of being like this big jackass, but also like you can't help but love him because he's also got some great one-liners. And I did everything. I actually redid that mission where that Rachni mission in Mass Effect 3 where I accidentally got him killed. I was like, hell no, I'm not doing that today. I'm not. No, thank you. I'm not killing off Grunt. I got rid of all that data, did the whole thing over again just to save Grunt's life. Just absolute badass. Just a lot of fun. Yeah. So. Oh boy, howdy. So, let's move on. Let's move on to our next character. And like I said, from here on out, it's just gonna get harder. It's just gonna get harder and harder. Because I love all these characters. Yeah. And like, oh boy. This is gonna be interesting, because my next character is Kasumi. So, Kasumi, she's I actually like when I was doing this list, and I was like, oh yeah, Kasumi, I have to put her in the higher parts. She's fun. She's a fun assassin type character. I normally don't use her a lot, but when I did, she was a lot of fun. Her loyalty mission's all right. I do find that there's this she's also got some great one-liners, and I just absolutely love the character. She's great. All right. So next up. All right. Next up we have Legion. So Legion is one of I was like all choked up when Legion died. Like, yeah, I know there's a way to keep Legion alive and all that. I've heard there's that, but yeah, I think it's way more of a story completion for like Legion dying. Legion was a great example of a great story for the Geth, as well as involving Tally. I really like Tally. Tally and Legion stories really do intersect, because obviously there was a war between their two species, and the Geth are the reason why the Quarians are no longer on world. But that's the thing, is that it is really much Legion who opens the door for relations to come back. And I think he's a great example of like everything that I said about EDI and like about machines evolving and whatnot. Legion did it like is another step of that. I'm not like I love EDI, but like I always wanted to have more of Legion because of just that kind of like unintentional humor. I like that in my robots. Maybe that's just because I'm a little bit of a Star Wars fan, and he reminds me a lot of like HK. Just that unintentional bloody humor. But he is a lot of fun. Anyway, so next up we have Morten. Oh man, had to be me. No one else. Someone could have got it wrong. That just rips your heart out, right? Morten is by far one of the most interesting characters in Mass Effect, because he was the reason they have the Genophage. And he, throughout the game, you see him like trying to defend what he did to basically every one of Rex's species. You see that just kind of pain that he did to every single one of the Krogans. You get to see that throughout just throughout the game of Mass Effect 2 and his loyalty mission. God, that ripped my heart out. And also, I did give him the business, because I was like, you fucking committed genocide, my dude. There's no, like... And, like, you can like he does defend it like in his own way. It's like, did I? And he doesn't relish in it either. He's like, what I did was inexcusable, and I can never look at myself in the mirror. And how his story ends is amazing. All right, so next up, Miranda. I thought I was going to put Miranda lower, but then I thought more and more about it. I was like, no, Miranda's way cooler. I thought I was going to hate... The first time I played Mass Effect 2, I thought I was going to hate this bitch. I really did. But then you find out more about what her father did to her, what Cerberus did to her, and from then on out, she actually grows as a character. Is she one of my the characters I try to romance in Mass Effect 2? Not really. Someone else? Shut up. Anyway. What? I gotta clap some alien cheeks. Shut up. Anyway, Miranda is I like her as a character. I really like that kind of organization, that kind of brutality. Honestly, in real life, she reminds me a lot of my girlfriend. I don't know what that says about me. But, yeah. There is a lot of... you get to see a lot of her progression as a character. She's definitely one of the human one of the two human characters that are well written in this... of the squad members that are really well done. All the other... I usually bring her and the other person... I'm going to talk about her in a second. All in my school... Because I'm like, yeah, you guys are useful. You guys are way more useful than every other of my human characters. The rest of them go fuck off. Except Joker, but he's on the ship. Anyway, so next up, yeah, it's Jax. Not Jax, Jack. Jack is a lot of is just this wild, brutal, I'm in your face, like punk rock Sid Vicious, I'm gonna kick your teeth in kind of character. So much fun. Her story rips your heart, just breaks your heart. And you get to see her grow up in Mass Effect 3, teaching and training children. She's a lot of fun. I feel like that's what they wanted to do with Ashley, but then they realized halfway through the story, no, this is dumb. Let's make her way more like a Wolverine with Jean Grey's power. That's what I feel like they do with her. I also like with the whole of the connection with Cerberus, and I really like having the dialogues between her and Miranda. And how that grows. And that also might explain why I ranked them so close to each other. Alright. So, who's next, you may be thinking? Who's next? Well, here we are. Liara Tassoni. Admit it, that was your first romance character in Mass Effect 1. You wanted to clap them blue cheeks. Don't lie to me, boy. Don't lie to me. You wanted to clap alien cheeks. Don't lie. Anyway, this is a character that goes from scientist to criminal badass to all around badass. Again, great character progression throughout. Alongside another guy, we'll get to him. She's one of the two characters that follows you to the end. Actually, no, one of the three that follows you to the end. We'll get to her in a bit. But yeah, Liara goes from meek little scientist girl to I'm gonna fuck you up and just kick you in the face while I'm laughing at you as you die. Just goes from 0 to badass every time. So, next up, Thane. Yep, Thane Krios. How could I not put him higher on this? It was really hard to kind of juggle, where he was going to go. But all these characters are just absolutely all I love. Thane motherfucking Krios was a badass, was a soldier of peace. He was a main man, and admit it, we all went, no matter how much Paragon you got as a character, if you just went full Paragon, when Krios died from Kai Lang, we all picked that renegade moment just to fucking end him after what he did after what he did to Thane. You even said it out loud. No matter how many times you play it, no matter how many times you try to unlock full Paragon, you went renegade for that 1 second just to go, that was for Thane, you son of a bitch, and just fucking kill him. But yeah, so Admit it, we all did it. And we all still do. But Thane was a warrior, he was a poet, he was a man looking at death in the face and going, there's nothing you can do to hurt me. And I really like that about the character. I really love that. So, let's move on now to our next character, and that is Rex. Now we're in like the big three, and I think we know where the rankings are. But yeah, Rex, absolute badass, absolute warrior, a guy who helped you understand the genophage and what it did to Chachanka, and what it did to the Krogans in general. This dude was a badass, but he was a hardened soldier who also understood what to do. Admit it, even if you fucked up and shot him, killed him, you felt bad. And then, for me, I did everything in my power. When I got to that moment, I was like, okay, save Rex, you save the race. Because if you go renegade and shoot him, then you deal with his brother, and that's a smarmy bastard. Yeah, so do everything So for first-time Mass Effect players, always remember to save Rex, because you don't want to deal with his brother. Anyway, so yeah, Rex. Next up, we have almost said Liara. We have Tali. Okay, Tali is best girl. Let's all not kid ourselves. Tali is best girl. There's no other way around it. I can't deny it. You can't deny it. We all want that booty. But yeah, this character is awesome. She's resourceful. She's also got a spunk to her. Always a character to have when you're on an engineering mission, and definitely way more it's always fun to see her geek out over engineering and ships and whatnot. It's a lot of fun just to have that character around, and yeah, that was my main romance character throughout Mass Effect 2. It's just the best, because it's just Shepard's usually this stoic kind of I don't really have fun, and then here comes little Miss yay, it's me, hello, it me kind of character. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, Tali, resourceful, master engineer, all around badass, and we get to see her grow throughout the entire 3 games. One of the 3 characters that stays with, and one of the 2 that stays on all your squad. So yeah, and we get to see her progress from meek little Tali to I'm gonna fucking shoot you in the face if you don't agree with me, Tali. All around badass. And here we are. You probably knew, if you've been around on this channel long enough, you knew this character was gonna be on this list. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Garrus Vakarian. Garrus is a badass. He's a dude who wants to believe in, doing the right thing, being a good soldier, and is a bit of a smarmy dick as well. If he plays the female character, he's one of your romance options. I don't blame you. But Garrus is a total bro. He's also just an absolute badass, master sharpshooter, quick wit, but also he understands the right and wrong and whatnot. Just great character. I've got a poster of him I'm looking at right now. I would show it, but I don't know if you guys could see it. It's right next to Alistair. Right there. So yeah, Garrus is my boy from here. But yeah, so there you go, guys. I know this video ran a little long, but there are so many there are so many characters in this series. So yeah, and I just had to talk about all of them. But yeah, you guys tell me in the comments below. What did you guys what's your ranking of all the Mass Effect squad mates from best to worst? And as always, if you think a character should be higher or lower on the list, that's totally fine. I'm always excited to hear what you guys have to say. And yeah, once again, I'd like to thank Bill McLaughlin for this Patreon request and continued patronage. But other than that, hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in Multiverse.